Welcome to a new update, the second one of today. And as I stated this morning, we're going to discuss day trading altcoins as the markets is, well, technically some of the altcoins are doing really great or doing fine, breaking up left and right, and therefore you can start trading those. We're going to navigate you through the importance of those levels and how to get a strategy going on some of those altcoins in this update. Before that, do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, like the YouTube update, and also do not forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's all free, nothing is being charged for you following me or subscribing to this YouTube channel. Very soon we'll be back with the live stream, so my camera will be back too, but I'm still struggling with some medical issues, which I think I finally found the solution for. And once that is going to settle down, I'll be back with the camera. I might be even adding a second camera to improve the quality of the YouTube videos. So we're seeing Decentraland as Meta has been accelerating quite fine. And what you can see in this chart is basically what you should be seeing in charts overall, is that the overall interest for the long entry is being caused by a breakout taking place. So the actual interest takes place when the momentum starts to run heavily, right? So that means that you should be looking for entry points based on historical price action, rather than taking the entry at those highs, given that the downwards potential is still significant. So for instance, this one can drop 15% and still be bullish. This one can drop all the way back towards its previous level, which is 19%, and still be bullish. So if you want to get into coins that are moving heavily, and this is a 30-minute time frame, so they are actually moving heavily on the day, you want to zoom in, but you also want to look for standard opportunities to gain. What I mean by that is that you're looking for support resistance flips. So in the case of the left push, you're looking at a flip of this green zone, or you're looking at one around this area here. As you can see, probably you have to zoom in towards the 15-minute to get a proper view. Yes, we do see a beautiful support resistance flip, and in that zone you can technically start looking for longs. You might be filled, you might not be filled, that's not the point, but you're looking for the best optimal approach, in which the target points are quite easy to navigate through to as well. The previous high is a target point, and the second target point is the Fibonacci 1618 extension tool of the previous impulse or of this small one. It's up to you to decide. If you want to use both, you can navigate through 3 target zones. If you use the previous impulse, you would have got a target of 142, and that's the top of the previous impulse as well. If you look for the long opportunity overall here, you are trying to get into, that's not your stop loss, but okay, thank you. You're trying to get yourself into that long zone in the green area, and your stop should be beneath this previous high, as that is the invalidation of the markets. You generally want to see constant higher lows, higher highs, and in this case we're actually seeing one in which your first target point is the previous high, resulting in, actually a little bit higher, in a risk reward of 2, and if you include the second target you get 5.4. so if you take 50% here and 50% there, approximately 3.7 would be the error on this trade, which is fine. If we're going back or going further a little bit more, you can see that this previous high or this entire block and this previous zone is also an entry point after the first rally. We see that we've got a failure of breakout here above the previous high and come all the way back down. As this area here is the recent higher low, the crucial area that we want to see or want to see a sustain above is that entire region, and we also got a previous high here resulting in another support resistance flip. So actually we've got 3 entries in this chart, and then we've got an acceleration which we can't be using as opportunities anymore unless you want to start scalping even lower time frames. Price action accelerates quite fast, and in this case the entire block that we have here can result in a corrective move entry point. So you're looking at anything in that green zone to take the entry from, especially after such an impulse wave, we almost always get there. And currently I'm discussing 30 minutes. And I guess if you use 5 or 15 minutes, you'll probably get a little bit more opportunities going here. What I want to be doing here is that based on the price action that we have in this block, this is the last breaker that we had before we started to move south. So we got this breaker, meaning that that is going to be the resistance if you want to get into an entry point around this block. Beautiful bounce back up, which results in a nice trade of about 25%, 29. If you would have placed a wide stop, I think it would be a critical trade. But if you would have placed your stop around this low here, if you took this trade and it started to move, you probably would have had a risk-reward ratio that's fine. Another trade opportunity, another TP, and now we start flipping levels. And we get into the point of where should we still be looking for entry points. You can see that we are flipping this level here, which is looking like we're going to have continuation. But we're stuck in a range. So right now I would not be getting interested at all. We're showing some weakness as we lost this entire structure. So we might be testing the low once again. And if we lose that low, I might be scooping in a very small day trade around the green zone. If that one doesn't provide support, I'm going to look at 150 as the next support zone. On the upside, if we do break above and make this flip, this is the best entry point right now if you want to get into mana. And if it starts running, it probably takes out the high, so you can get a trade of about 30 to 50%. But I hope this is an example of how I would be trading, and I hope it helps you too. Looking at ARPA, we get the exact same opportunities here going right now. Heavy volatility in the past few days, resulting, or in the past few weeks actually resulting in a few very interesting opportunities to trade. We got a breakout. We also got a beautiful support resistance flip over here, which is actually the most important thing to understand of trading is those support resistance flips you should be following if you want to get into the markets. Support resistance flip, nothing really to gain here. I would be waiting for 10.4 cents. But after this big push, I think getting the trade going in this entire block is probably what I would be seeking too. So we've missed this trade, but then we still get the opportunity in this green zone. I would have been taking profit around 14.7 cents. Which I would have been taking in the first run, and then you're looking at a support resistance flip once again of the entire range, so you would have been taking some trades here too. With this recent run up, based on the price action, another TP point for me coming up. If it starts to move higher, all fine, I don't really care. I've made my 20% profits even though. Looking at lower time frames, if you still want to get into ARPA, the conclusion is that it's still making those support resistance flips as well. So we've got a support resistance flip going on here too. We constantly are doing it in the upwards momentum too. So if you want to get into a trade, I think the previous resistance point around this area of 15.4 cents, that is the area where you want to take the entry from, and that is the area where you want to scoop in some longs, take profit probably around those highs once again, but easily you can take those if you want to get into. The stop loss can be placed beneath 14.8 and your target zone or your target points are around 18 cents for another 20 to 25% trade. So the stop losses are quite clear to get, but also the take profits are quite easy to get. Another one, sand, as you can see in this one, beautiful support resistance flip here happening, acceleration up. The first real two in point of interest are these two. You might be stopped out or taken the long a little bit too early, but here you've got a second one, which I definitely would have been taking. Previous high, take profit point numero uno, and the second take profit point is a Fibonacci extension on this one, and there you get towards 3 or 648. If you want to get into a trade, I think sand should be a waiting game until we get into this region. If you're looking for the 1 hour time frame, personally, if you're looking for lower time frames, you might want to scoop one here as well, but that's a little bit more tricky and also a tighter stop loss. But I think these two trades are already where you should be looking at. Final one, DENT, big breakout, constant support resistance flips. So you see why it's so important to actually have those in your portfolio, or at least in your TA techniques. If you want to scoop in a trade, the game is the same here. I would be starting to look at anywhere in this range for a support resistance flip, which is around 7,000. Right now, I would not be interested when it comes to the 1 hour time frame. When it comes to the 15-minute time frame, I might take a little aggressive approach, but overall the 1 hour time frame is where I'll be looking at. So I hope this gives you a little bit of an insight in the markets and how we trade. If you want to get more trade ideas, don't forget to become a member on our platform through the website 8global.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with a fresh new updates. See you again soon.